When I was 16, I plucked up the courage to ask my dad advice on getting girls. He and mum had been divorced 8 years at that point, and I had seen plenty of women come and go in his life since then. Anytime he was in the company of an attractive woman, he would immediately turn on the charm. It was seemingly second nature for him to do so, so I'd figured I'd asked him what his secret was. Reason being that I was struggling to garner any attention from girls my age, and my self-esteem was taking a nosedive. He only said one thing to me, and looking back, it turned out to be the best piece of advice he ever gave me. Son, there is one thing women love more than anything, and that's confidence. Great, I thought. He's telling me to have something I'm chronically lacking, and chasing that confidence is only making me feel worse. But then he said, and if you don't have any, just fake it. I looked at him, slightly confused. How the hell do I fake confidence, I said. Then he replied, ever heard of a thing called acting? It was there and then I had a light bulb moment. I always felt acting confident came from a place of sincerity, but now it was as if my father had given me the permission to go ahead and fake it till you make it. I could act, I thought. I don't need to feel confident, just pretend. How hard could it be? It took a little practice. I would study some movie characters that I felt embodied the confidence I wanted to emulate. Characters like Tyler Durden, James Bond, etc. And after just a few months, I started seeing results. Girls would reciprocate my advances. A few of them even started gravitating towards me. And as a result, the wins stacked up, and so too did my confidence. My old man was right. You can fake confidence with women and see results. My only wish was that my dad had told me this sooner. Fast forward to the present day, and I have 2 boys of my own, a 3-year-old and an 8-month-old. And I would say I've been a fully red pill man in relation to women for 3 years now. After delving into Jordan Peterson's work for a couple of years, I found I had stumbled into the MANOSPHERE. I was consuming more and more content orientated around what it meant to be a man. And a large chunk of that talk was based around women. How to attract women, how to sleep with women, how to keep a woman, and so on. It's not that I felt I needed the help. I was and am a happily married man. But I could sense the desperation in many of the men who were engaged in and around the topic. Soon enough, I got my hands on a copy of The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. I'd seen this book spoken about everywhere within the sphere. It's been dubbed the Bible of the Red Pill. And it was once I had finished reading it, I knew my eyes were now fully open. So having this red pill awareness as a father has inevitably led to me asking myself, at what age should I red pill my boys? It's a question I've seen asked by many fathers. The general consensus is to give your son a copy of The Rational Male once he hits those all too crucial teenage years. And whilst I believe it's essential reading for any newly turned straight teenage boy, I actually believe that's a little late if that's their first introduction into the understanding and navigation of the female species. I truly believe it's imperative that young men understand and become competent with women as early as possible. What you don't want is a son who's in his mid to late 20s, still failing at every turn with girls, and therefore spending most of his life obsessed with chasing and trying to comprehend the female form. Or a man who has had his whole life ruined because he didn't understand and identify the red flags. So if you haven't laid a good foundation early on, and your first attempts as a father to teach the holy grail of truth in regards to female nature is to give him the book when your kid hits puberty, you run the risk of being brushed off and potentially losing him to the blue pill forever. Find me a teenage boy who enjoys reading educational content in his spare time, and you've brought to my attention an anomaly. Furthermore, he spent his formal years growing up in a femme-centric society that promotes the economic, sexual, and social imperatives of women. Television, social media, news outlets, pop culture all pander to women while simultaneously demonizing and emasculating men. Most of his teachers at school would have been women, and most boys and men are simps, all too willing to validate a woman and her often contradictory, demeaning, and victimizing behavior. So throw a teenage boy a copy of The Rational Male, and don't be surprised to be met with resistance, even if he does actually read it. So am I saying read him The Rational Male from nighttime stories when he's 5 years old? Of course not. Instead, what I'm saying is, the best way to red pill your son from an early age is to set the example of what a red pill aware man is. If you're together with the mother, make sure he sees what a healthy relationship is like on a daily basis. He should see a man who is a provider, a protector, a romantic, a leader, holds frame almost impeccably, teases and jokes with his woman, who's confident, charismatic, dresses well, keeps in shape, and so on. You can't be a shadow of a man and bossed around and belittled by the mother in front of his eyes, then try and tell him he should live a red pill life. Your advice won't hold any weight. Instead, if you embody the traits I mentioned and live every day setting the example of what a man and a healthy male-female dynamic looks like, he will be far more reciprocal later in life when you hand him that book. And if you're a single dad, then be at ease around women when he is with you. Flirt with and tease the cute waitress. Share a joke with the hot receptionist. Open doors and be respectful at all times, but never simp. Try and hopefully become a man of purpose, a man other men want to be and women want to be with. Thinking back to it, when my dad gave me that advice, I believe it resonated with me because I could see how confident my dad was when he was around women. Maybe he was faking it too. If so, it was working. And so his advice held weight in my eyes. I only wish that he'd given me even more great advice throughout my developing years. So as the years pass by, drop in a snippet of knowledge about women and what they like or don't like. Make a remark here and there about how bad feminism is for society. Complain about the lack of class engulfing so many young women today. Continuously plant these seeds as you see him grow from a boy to a moody, hormonal teenager. So when you do give him the copy of The Rational Male, he's already highly primed to embrace those red pill truths. This will only aid him in his navigation of the sexual marketplace, armed with the knowledge and wisdom that will make any father envious but proud. You will also probably save him a ton of confusion and heartbreak. There are no guarantees, of course, but a boy raised with a red pill awareness holds a tremendous advantage over his peers and can be a force to be reckoned with.